You're watching News 24 Houston at 3 o'clock.
If you have aches, pains, or spasms in your back, you are not alone. Experts say more than 21 million Americans suffer with back pain. But as News 24 Houston's Christy Nakamura tells us, there is a way to alleviate that pain long-term without surgery.
Skip Burrows is an athletic guy.
A lot of snowboarding and marathons and triathlons and just training and that sort of thing.
His doctors say he's in pretty good shape, not the kind of guy you would think has back problems. But Burrows says he has spinal episodes so painful they can leave him flat on his back.
I was getting them at least once a month where, I'd just do something. I wouldn't be lifting or doing anything. I'd, pick up a pin off the floor, or I'd pick up my dog, or I would, be brushing the pool or whatever, and I'd have these episodes that it would just nearly knock me out.
Everybody from 35 up has probably experienced some sort of low back pain. The problem we see that most of the pain is really caused by instability within the low back.
Treatments for low back pain can include medication, physical therapies, or acupuncture. But Dunn says those options don't often provide long-term pain relief. Surgery is another option, but some patients like Burrows worry that such invasive treatment could make their situation worse instead of better.
Look, I'm still snowboarding, I'm still running, I'm still doing things. I just have problems from time to time, and I don't want to. You rob snowboarding and you rob those things away from me, and my quality of life is radically diminished.
So Burrows comes to the Lordex Spine Institute for his therapy. Lordex officials say their treatment is non-invasive and addresses the root cause of the back pain for long-term results.
Now, there are two parts to the Lordex spine system. One is decompressing the spine, and the other is what I'm doing right now, and that's strengthening the muscles in the lower back.
For the spinal decompression, patients step into a harness and the machine gently stretches their spine. Officials say it's like being put into traction to reinsert the space between the discs and alleviate pain. Then they say the lower back exercises help patients to build up their muscles to better support their structure.
So as you heal, you get stronger.
Dunn says the Lordex program typically involves 20 to 30 hours of treatment at the Institute. He says patients do need to continue their lower back exercises at home to maintain the results. But he says if they keep their strength up, they should be able to stay on their feet instead of flat on their backs for the long term. In River Oaks, Christy Nakamura, News 24, Houston.
Experts say it's important to always check with your doctor before beginning any new type of treatment. The National Institutes of Health say back pain is the second most common neurological ailment in the United States. They say only headaches are more common. The NIH says nearly everyone will experience back pain that interferes with their work, recreation, or daily activities at some point in their lives.
The Super Bowl and its superb athletes may make you want to work out a little harder, maybe even take up the game of tackle football, God forbid. If that's the case, and your back is now killing you, we may have some relief. Health reporter Krista Marino joins us now live with that story.
Back pain, it is a big problem for the players. In fact, it's the biggest issue for the entire population. Back pain is the #1 reason people miss work. If you have back pain, listen up. There's a new conservative approach you need to know about.
It was in a kickboxing class much like this one when she felt the snap.
She kicked a shield I was holding, and it just, gave me this huge jolt.
A little bit more weight.
It was that injury that brought her here.
Nice and slow.
The Lordex Spine Institute.
Being one that's had back surgery and being one that's been crippled with back pain, I've always looked for the conservative way out like anybody would be.
Swing your left foot through that hole. There you go. Hold that waist high.
This is that so-called conservative way out Dr. Stanley Jones firmly stands behind.
Allow the machine to do the pull.
It's a traction technique paired with strength training for stabilization of the spine.
It's going to pull for about 45 seconds and release for 15 seconds every minute.
If we can pull on the disc and distract the disc space, we can rehydrate the disc, we can detoxify the disc, and we can make the disc more healthy.
Doctors program the Lordex machine to elongate the patient's back in their particular problem area.
So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the lumbar spine. As we raise it up, it affects more of that particular segment.
Kim Mullins was skeptical at first.
You really don't feel anything, and that's the first few times I came, I thought, well, You know, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything.
After a few sessions,
Oh, I was overjoyed.
the pain was gone.
They feel so much lighter on their feet because they feel better quick.
You get results that fast?
You get results very quickly.
Dr. Jones says the Lordex can help herniated discs, pain from muscle spasms, and tight ligaments.
Basketball injuries, football injuries, etc.
For many, it's an alternative to surgery. It's fast and easy, even relaxing for some. Most importantly, it's working.
I'm a happy camper.
Now, another big stumbling block for back pain is excess weight. Dr. Jones says 1 pound in the tummy, believe it or not, adds up to 100 pounds of pressure in the spine. Hard to believe, but that's what he says. If you're overweight, that back pain is bad.
That's a good reason to go ahead and start losing some extra weight, too.
It's a great reason.
Do you have a pain in your back? It's almost as common as the common cold, but you might not have to just grin and bear it. In tonight's Up Close, 11 News reporter Nancy Holland follows one man's search for a solution that, believe it or not, doesn't involve surgery.
If you don't have lower back pain, the odds are good you will. For a long time, the options seem to be surgery or a life of pain. John Mitchell knows about pain. It isn't that he doesn't like to read to his son.
Yeah, Macy drives the bus. Bye-bye, everyone.
He just doesn't like being limited to a safe seat on the floor. Back pain makes him move tentatively. At one point, he finds he can't even lift Will to put him in a stroller. Pain was stealing his son.
And we're just going to apply this lower harness here.
He's 37. His back is unstable. He has a herniated disc. Pain runs down his legs. He has to do something.
The last time that my back went out, which was this past December, I was in bed for 2 or 3 days, and the only way I could, for example, use the restroom was crawl on my hands and knees for a couple days, so I was at the point of kind of no return.
What he is doing is not having surgery. Instead, he is on a machine that stretches his back.
If we decompress the disc with traction,
Pull it apart.
We then allow the disc that's protruding to shrink back. And in the process of that shrinking back, you alleviate the nerve pressure that exists because the disc is pushing on the nerve.
It feels good.
If it doesn't work, surgery is still a possibility. But his doctor says he'd rather try this first. Cut later, only if he has to. And he says that's not just in Mitchell's case. 8 out of 10 adults will have some kind of back problem before the age of 40. But growing numbers of them want options beyond the scalpel. It's now been a number of weeks. I'm about halfway through the treatments. Time enough to find out just how well it's working. John Mitchell is still coming for treatments and now admits he had doubts about whether lying back, listening to music while a machine stretched him would be sufficient.
You know, you're just a little skeptical as if they can make you feel better.
But time has convinced him.
Historically, he should have about a 90%, 86 to 90% success rate and eliminate the need for surgery at this point.
The truth is, he will have to be conscientious about exercises, basically simple ones he can do with 10 feet of rope.
People who have low back pain also have tight hamstrings. So by loosening them up, they're able to get better range of motion, better function.
He may still have some pain from time to time, but his therapists say he should have a better quality of life, even golf. So is he going to play golf like Tiger Woods?
Probably not. And that has nothing to do with his back.
And already, he says, the treatment has given him back his children.
Well, they're definitely happy that I'm not in bed anymore, so that's good news to their ears.
The sounds coming from the Mitchell backyard have everything to do with play and pleasure.
You want to put you back in there?
Nothing to do with pain.
Quack, quack.
Nancy Holland, 11 Up Close.